as the president said, I teach English. I teach at Nova. Have you heard of Northern Virginia Community College? Yeah. Okay, it's not far from here. So my first day is next Tuesday. So.
Okay, so Jill Biden allegedly has China virus, or should I say Dr. Biden, because they want to trick people into believing that she's some well-renowned, prestigious physician. But yeah, she's come down with China virus because it's election season, baby, and they need to find a way to cheat just like they did in 2020. So let's take a look at this report.
First Lady Jill Biden has tested positive for COVID-19. The White House says she is experiencing mild symptoms and will remain at home in Delaware. The First Lady tested positive last summer. President Biden has thus far tested negative.
As you can see, the lies and BS has already started. One might ask himself if they actually believe all this crap that the left is pushing. Jill Biden is triple, quadruple vaccinated, all the boosters. Everybody around her has to be screened, tested, and all that crap. So how does she come up with China virus? Easy. She came up with it because they made it up. They poured it out their asses. Now let's look. There's another notable leftist who also had it. Let's look at this one.
As you can see, Whoopi is not here. She has COVID. Yes, it's back. It's back.
It's back.
But she's on the mend. She's on the tail end, and she'll probably be back this week. But sorry she's not here. For those of you who are looking forward to seeing her.
Now you see all the joy, all the giggly laughing. I thought this was the most dangerous virus in history. If the virus is that dangerous, I can't tell. I'm looking at her co-hosts' demeanor, faces. They don't care at all that she has it. Because think about this. If you had a dear friend, someone you worked with for the longest, and they came down, they said, man, I got terminal cancer or some other terminal illness, some extremely dangerous illness, you're not going to be laughing and smiling and giggling. You're going to be worried like hell. You're going to be terrified. So this right here shows you it's all BS. But they're bringing this all back because, again, it's election time. So what they want to do is rig the election. Back in 2020, they were able to steal states like the state of Pennsylvania and the state of Georgia because they had widespread mail-in ballots. So first of all, I said this is BS because in 2020, who the hell goes to the post office? Millennials and Gen Z don't even know how to mail stuff. So they said, hey, we have millions of people who dropped off mail-in ballots, and they just so happen to nearly all be in favor of Joe Biden. So, so they want to run this game again because never in American history have we ever had mail-in ballots widespread like this. That's only reserved for very special occasions like deployed military and deployed diplomats, etc. But what they want to do is run the exact same game. They're going to turn election day into election season, and it's going to take them a week or two to count all the ballots because just like they did in Georgia, they kicked out all the vote watchers. Then they start pulling in ballots from under the table. And in the middle of the night, they say, look, we're already done. Y'all can go home. In fact, some people said, you know what? I know that y'all are done. I don't want to go home. I'm going to just remain here. All of a sudden, a water main burst. And they said, God damn, we got to evacuate the building. Kicked everybody out the building. Next thing you know, in the middle of the night, they're just pulling ballots out of everywhere and just running them through machines with no one watching. It's like, oh man, look at that. Joe Biden won Georgia. A Democrat hasn't won Georgia in decades, but it just so happened this time Joe Biden won Georgia, even though the water main burst in the election counting office. So they were very successful, the left was, in running this game with the mail-in ballots because they sent all these ballots unsolicited to these people. And you can't verify them. You don't know who or where these ballots come from. You have a bunch of pieces of paper, and more than likely what's happening is the left has a group of people that they're paying to fill out ballots. Then they stuff them in the box when nobody's looking. So if they can run that same game in 2024, they think they have a very high chance of stealing the election again because they're very worried. The polls aren't looking good. It looks like Trump is about to take back the White House. So they need to find some way to rig this election. And they're starting with these notable Democrats like Jill Biden and Whoopi Golberg because the left has a little bit of trust in these people. So if you see them, they're like, damn, I guess this new variant is serious. Look at them. They're sick. I guess we do need to comply. And they can't run this game on the right anymore. In fact, it's going to be very hard for them because you fooled a lot of people on the right, but that's not going to happen again. The right is already on to you. So good luck with running that same game in 2024. And this has been predicted. People saw this coming miles away. In fact, Alex Jones talked about it. And all I got to say is, looks like Alex Jones was right. In fact, let's take a look at what he had to say.
New policies being written, that this is done. They were told this is happening. This is not hypothetical. You will all have to wear masks again, and so will airport employees.
That's already starting. We have businesses in several states around the country. We have schools. We have hospitals. We have certain government organizations. They've already started talking about we need to wear masks. There's a new variant. Even though it's been debunked multiple times that these masks don't do absolutely anything except for enrich the companies that make and sell masks. They're bringing it back because it's all part of fearmongering, and they need to scare the hell out of the population in order for the population to comply with mail-in ballots.
Then by the middle of October, they are going to say that everyone flying has to wear a mask. And in the meetings, people began to ask them, well, I mean, why is this happening? They said, well, because of the new variant in Canada and because of the WHO, they may, declare this. But regardless, we've been told this is going to happen.
Full-blown fear-mongering.
And then they were told, we expect by December a return to the full COVID protocol of 2020-2021.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting prediction. So he's saying certain things are going to happen in October and December. And I'm going to be watching closely because this is showing that this is nothing but a power grab. If they can predict, okay, this month, this is going to happen. This month, that's going to happen. This thing is all manufactured, is all scripted, and the left is planning this whole thing out. But I don't think they can afford to do it as intensely as they did it back in 2020 because that was an election year, but Trump was the incumbent. So all these Democrat governors, New York, California, and all these guys decided to tank the economy on purpose. They shut down California, New York, Illinois, all these other big left states. They crushed their own citizens, put people into poverty, all in efforts to blame Trump and to win the 2020 election. Because oftentimes when the economy tanks, when horrible things are happening, people skip the mayor, they skip the county leadership, they skip the governor, they go straight to the White House. They say, oh, this is Trump's fault. This is the president's fault. So the left, even though they're a bunch of idiots, so they might do it, but the left probably doesn't want to do it this time with Joe Biden, even though the economy is absolutely ass right now. They don't want to sink it even further because it's going to look bad on him and it's going to give Trump even more strength in the polls. So we're going to see. We're going to see what happens.
And I was given many more details. I wrote down notes on it. Yep, we were told yesterday, yesterday was Thursday, so it was Wednesday, expect COVID protocols to begin rolling out middle of September. And I said, what else were you told? Basically that they believe this new variant's super bad and that they're doing the testing and that they should just get ready for a whole new rollout of what happened before. And this was Border Patrol connected people I was talking to, and testing at the border again and the whole shooting match.
Yeah. So you get the gist of it. The left is running this game because it's an election year. These masks don't do crap. The 6 feet apart thing is a number they pulled out of their asses. These COVID China virus, man-made China virus strains, these different variants, are either asymptomatic or they're very mild, like the common cold. But here they are acting like it's the worst disease in history. Even though they kind of try to play it both ways, because when Jill Biden gets it, it's not like the nation is mourning. Oh man, the first lady, she's about to die. She has the worst disease. Whoopi Golberg, she gets it, and the hosts on The View, the cackling hens on The View, they're sitting there laughing. Like, oh yeah, she'll be back in a few days. Ha 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 ha. But then when it comes to the general public, because this shows how they know that they can trick so many people, because people are dumbasses. A lot of people in society are just sheep and dumbasses. So they come to the general public and say, hey, this is like the bubonic plague. This is the Black Death. So you need to fork over all types of power. Give us all the power, all the authority, and you just be peons and do what we say. That way we can win the election. So they're going to try to run this game again, but don't fall for it. Monitor your state. Look at what your governor's doing, especially if you're in a leftist run state. Good luck with that. And some of these more red states, or if you have a red governor, Republican governor, some of these governors are kind of squishy, like the governor of Georgia, but that's a completely different story. So these guys may get buck broken by the left and also start issuing these China virus policies that don't do an absolute goddamn thing except destroy the economy and piss people off. But let me know what you think. Leave me your thoughts down in the comments below. Share the video. Thanks for watching.
Do you remember that one night when we fell in love? What we had felt so right, 'cause we had tried.